Hollywood, a place of dreams, glamour, and endless possibilities. But behind the bright lights and red carpets lies a hidden world of personal struggles, addiction, and despair. From iconic silver screen legends to contemporary stars, we'll unmask the stories that have remained shrouded in shadows for far too long. Here are the 10 worst alcoholic actresses in Hollywood history. Number 10. Veronica Lake. Veronica Lake was one of the most prominent it girls of 1940s Hollywood. One of the defining sex symbols of the era, Lake's life at first glance seems like the stuff dreams are made of. The beautiful blonde beauty queen. She was plucked from obscurity and catapulted into stardom overnight. She starred in such acclaimed films as This Gun for Hire, The Blue Dahlia, and Sullivan's Travels, leaving an indelible mark on the industry. But Lake's life was far from perfect. In her searing 1969 memoir, Lake tells the story of her painful, epic life in a style both tawdry and heartbreaking, tough but tender, frank but at times fantastical. Although she achieved success on television and the stage, Lake bluntly and bravely recounts her spiral into chronic alcoholism, as well as her neglect towards her 3 children. Her journey was riddled with evictions, another ill-fated marriage marred by alcohol, and instances of violence. While working at the Martha Washington, Lake crossed paths with Andy, a rugged blonde sailor who became her cherished life partner and drinking companion, her beloved teddy bear. In her memoir, she writes about their closely connected, alcohol-fueled love affair. They lived in cheap places and sneaked onto ships to be together. She wanted a Bowery Romeo and Juliet love that would never end. Unfortunately, Andy's health deteriorated due to his excessive drinking, despite warnings from doctors, and he eventually succumbed to his addiction shortly before Lake's own arrest for drunk and disorderly conduct in 1965, when she experienced a breakdown on the steps of a Catholic church in San Diego. Lake's life took a tragic turn, and she passed away in Burlington, Vermont on July 7, 1973, from acute hepatitis. Number 9. Gail Russell. Gail Russell was known for her role alongside John Wayne in Angel and the Bad Man. Despite her stunning beauty, characterized by captivating blue eyes and a beguiling smile, Russell was emotionally fragile. She starred alongside popular leading men such as John Wayne, Ray Milland, Joel McCrea, and Alan Ladd during her brief career. Despite her success, Russell battled deep insecurities, extreme shyness, and stage fright. In an attempt to calm her nerves before performances, she turned to alcohol, which eventually led to the downfall of both her career and her life as she succumbed to the devastating effects of alcoholism. Despite her struggles, Russell continued to pursue employment. In 1958, she appeared as Carol Morrow in The Tattered Dress, and in 1959, she portrayed Lynn Dillon in No Place to Land. But film executives grew concerned about the impact of her alcoholism on her appearance, realizing that her tarnished reputation prevented her from playing the innocent young woman roles she was once known for. In 1960, Russell had a role on the television series The Rebel as Cassandra Bannister, and in the series Manhunt as Mrs. Clark in the episode Matinee Monster. Russell's final appearance was in a film called The Silent Call, a haunting title given the circumstances. After the completion of filming, she isolated herself in her Los Angeles studio apartment, engaged in sketching and drinking. On August 21, 1961, at the age of 36, Gail Russell tragically passed away from a heart attack induced by alcohol. Her body was discovered the following day, and her death certificate indicates August 27 as the official date of death. Russell was laid to rest at Pierce Brothers Valhalla Memorial Park in Hollywood, California. Number 8. Barbara Payton. Barbara Payton was an up-and-coming actress in the early 1950s, associated with famous men like Bob Hope and her husband Franchot Tone. However, her career decline led her onto a destructive path of alcoholism. Barbara Payton, known for her blonde bombshell image, had the potential to become a major actress, possibly even rivaling Marilyn Monroe. Unfortunately, she became more famous for the tragic tale that unfolded in Hollywood. After starring in films like Trapped in 1949 with Lloyd Bridges, Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye in 1950 with James Cagney, and Only the Valiant in 1951 with Gregory Peck, Payton's life took a downward spiral. She passed away at the age of 39 in 1967, suffering from heart failure as her final years were marked by a battle with drugs and alcoholism. To support her addictions, she resorted to prostitution. Payton was enticed by the allure of Hollywood and reportedly engaged in relationships with film executives to advance her career, although many of these claims remain unverified. Regardless, she gained a reputation for a scandalous lifestyle. By the mid-1950s, Payton was struggling with alcohol and heroin abuse. Her last film was Murder Is My Beat in 1955. And in 1956, she lost custody of her 9-year-old son, never seeing him again. Despite her tragic downfall, her son, John Lee, harbors no resentment towards her. Payton's attempts to revive her career were unsuccessful, leading her to turn to prostitution in 1962. A year later, she accepted $2,000 to publish a tell-all book titled I Am Not Ashamed. She eventually passed away with her appearance so deteriorated that authorities had difficulty recognizing her. Number 7. Lindsay Lohan. Once heralded as one of the most promising young talents, Lindsay's ascent to the top was marked by daring attempts to conquer new summits, only to stumble and fail miserably. This story echoes a universal truth that repeats itself time and again. Whether it's the pursuit of stardom, the climb up a treacherous mountain, or even serving someone the mouth-watering chicken wings they deserve, challenges lurk at every turn. But here's the twist. Success often grants us the power to soar, even without the wings. Lindsay, like many child actresses, had bravely battled in the public eye against the clutches of drug and alcohol abuse. Her journey to sobriety has been an arduous one, marked by a failed stint in rehab back in 2011. The court even ordered her to wear an alcohol detection bracelet in 2010, a constant reminder of the battle she faced. Yet, in 2014, a public relapse on her reality show demonstrated the ongoing struggle she faces in conquering her addiction to alcohol. But there's more to the story. Lindsay has openly acknowledged the dangers alcohol poses, revealing in a 2013 interview with Oprah Winfrey that it served as a gateway to other destructive substances. The allure of cocaine paired with alcohol proved irresistible, leading her further down a treacherous path. In her early 20s, Lindsay's brush with drugs took a rapid and uncontrollable turn. Cocaine, amphetamines, prescription drugs, she battled them all. Unfortunately, her addiction came with a heavy price, with legal issues such as DUI arrests and possession charges haunting her every step. As her career became entangled in the grip of addiction, Lindsay's journey led her in and out of rehab multiple times. These cycles of recovery and setbacks caused disruptions, leaving her once bright career strewn with obstacles. In a candid 2019 interview with the New York Times, Lindsay bared her soul, revealing the toll her addiction had taken on her relationships. She acknowledged the pain she had caused others, but she remains committed to making amends and reclaiming her life. Number 6. Demi Lovato. Demi, a Grammy-nominated pop star, has bravely shared her battle with alcohol addiction. In her 2021 docuseries, Demi Lovato, Dancing with the Devil, she shed light on her struggle with addiction, overdose, and the path to recovery. Similar to many others facing addiction, Lovato comes from a family with a history of substance use disorder. They witnessed their father's alcohol and drug addiction, as well as the abuse he inflicted on their mother during their upbringing. Lovato's mother also revealed her own struggles with Xanax misuse in the documentary. Additionally, Lovato has dealt with co-occurring mental health disorders, including bipolar disorder and an eating disorder. Children of parents with addiction are at higher risk of developing addiction themselves, and Lovato's experiences reflect this reality. They have openly discussed their substance abuse and the detrimental impact it had on their life. Lovato's experimentation with alcohol began during her school years, and she tried cocaine for the first time at the age of 17 while working for the Disney Channel. In her documentary, Lovato revealed that she combined cocaine with Xanax, a dangerous combination that eventually led to even riskier drug use. Following a life-threatening overdose in 2018, Lovato has been focused on her recovery. They have found inpatient addiction treatment and meditation to be instrumental in her journey towards sobriety. Number 5. Farrah Fawcett. There was a time when Farrah Fawcett reigned as the ultimate American obsession, captivating hearts long before the era of the Kardashians and the reign of Scarlett Johansson, Margot Robbie, and Jennifer Lawrence. In the 70s, Fawcett's star burned brightly, leaving an indelible mark on pop culture. Her portrayal of Jill on the iconic TV series Charlie's Angels, her world-famous swimsuit poster that adorned countless walls, and her unforgettable feathered hair made her a true legend of her time. People everywhere admired and adored her, as the LA Times aptly acknowledged after her passing at the age of 62 in 2009, following a courageous battle with cancer. However, beneath the glamorous surface, Farrah Fawcett faced her own demons. Behind the facade of her all-American beauty, she grappled with alcohol addiction, which sent her promising acting career spiraling into a series of tumultuous twists and turns. Number 4. Bette Davis. Bette Davis, the iconic actress, had a reputation for being a mean drunk. Her tumultuous relationship with Gary Merrill, her final husband and fellow actor whom she met on the set of the classic film All About Eve, was marred by their shared struggle with alcoholism. The lines between their characters in the movie and their real-life personas became blurred. Their marriage was volatile, with signs of physical abuse from Merrill, while Davis herself goaded him on. During their marriage, Bette and Merrill adopted 2 children, Margot and Michael. Tragically, it was discovered when Margot was a toddler that she had a mental disability. Doctors suspected that Margot's condition might have been caused by head trauma, either during childbirth or shortly after. Those who were present in the Davis and Merrill household at the time, including Margot's nurse and the family housekeeper, speculated that Bette or Merrill, with their short tempers and alcohol consumption, may have played a role in Margot's mental handicaps. However, the exact cause remains unknown. Towards the end of her life, when asked which of her husbands she liked best, Bette famously responded with her trademark wit, stating that she had no favorite since she had ended all of her marriages. Despite the challenges she faced, Davis staged a remarkable comeback and continued working well into her 9th decade. However, in 1989, her battle with cancer resurfaced, and she passed away in Neuilly-sur-Seine, just west of Paris, France, on October 9 at the age of 81. Davis's grave in Los Angeles bears an epitaph that encapsulates her life and career. She did it the hard way. A testament to her unwavering determination and perseverance. Number 3. Judy Garland. Judy Garland, the beloved star of The Wizard of Oz, struggled with a history of alcohol and substance abuse that led her in and out of rehab. The pressures of early stardom, manipulation of Hollywood executives regarding her appearance, and financial instability, including significant tax debt, contributed to these issues. Tragically, Garland passed away at the age of 47 from a barbiturate overdose. Garland battled alcoholism and drug addiction well before she reached the age of 30, during a time when society often viewed addiction as a moral failing rather than a genuine disease affecting the mind, body, and soul. In 1949, Garland was abruptly fired from the MGM production of Annie, Get Your Gun, where she was cast as Annie Oakley, due to excessive tardiness, weight issues, drunkenness, and what was referred to as, quote, instability. Betty Hutton was quickly brought in to replace her after just 1 month of filming. After a lengthy hospitalization, Garland was given another opportunity to work in the 1950 film Summer Stock alongside her old friend Gene Kelly. During filming, her weight changed noticeably. She was then cast in Royal Wedding with Fred Astaire, but her chronic lateness and absences resulted in her ultimate dismissal from MGM. Struggling with despair and depression, she made a suicide attempt by lightly grazing her throat with a shard of glass. However, this was not the end of her life or career. She continued to perform on stage and screen, later achieving one of the most significant roles in A Star is Born. As the New York Times noted, what truly stood out about Judy Garland's career was her ability to persist for as long as she did, even after her voice began to decline and her physical health suffered from various illnesses that would have left a less determined person incapacitated. Number 2. Carrie Fisher. Once upon a time, in a galaxy not so far away, there was a star who shone brightly in the realm of Hollywood. She was none other than Carrie Fisher, the iconic Princess Leia from the beloved Star Wars franchise. But there was more to Carrie than her intergalactic fame. She had a captivating story to tell, one that involved her candidness about her health battles and addictions. Carrie Fisher's personal life was a roller coaster ride. Her struggles with alcohol and other demons were no secret. In fact, she fearlessly shared her experiences in a book called Wishful Drinking, published in 2008. The title itself hinted at the humor and wit she infused into her storytelling, making it an engaging read for fans and curious minds alike. Carrie's journey through her life began in the heart of Tinseltown, where she grew up in a household immersed in show business. With actress Debbie Reynolds as her mother and actor Eddie Fisher as her father, she was destined to be a Hollywood child. Stardom was never far from her grasp, thanks to the influence of her famous parents. But Carrie was never one to shy away from discussing her struggles with mental health, specifically her bipolar disorder and the accompanying manic episodes. She navigated through life's challenges with grace and humility, never afraid to open up about her 45-year battle with drug addiction and alcoholism. In her compelling tales, Carrie shared anecdotes that both shocked and entertained her readers. One story stood out, where she recounted an incident when her stomach had to be pumped, a consequence of her wild adventures. Through her distinctive humor, she shed light on the self-destructive cycle that alcohol often exacerbates. She warned that relying on substances to find happiness or escape discomfort could lead down a treacherous path, where one could unwittingly become a classic embodiment of a drug addict or alcoholic. Sadly, her journey came to an end in December 2016, when she suffered a heart attack. It was a devastating blow to her legion of devoted fans, who mourned the loss of this endearing and candid actress. Speculation arose that a relapse played a part in her tragic departure, leaving behind a void that no one could fill. Number 1. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor, a Hollywood legend, faced a long-standing struggle with addiction to alcohol and prescription painkillers. Her addiction affected her work on movie sets, often leaving her too intoxicated to perform her lines. In 1983, Taylor sought help by entering the Betty Ford Rehab Center, becoming one of the first celebrities to do so. After completing the program and losing 45 pounds, she remarked that staying sober was crucial for her survival. Unfortunately, Taylor's health declined and she passed away from congestive heart failure in 2011 at the age of 79. During her marriages, particularly to Richard Burton, who also battled alcoholism, Taylor's addiction to alcohol worsened. The turbulent relationship between the two was fueled by their shared dependency on alcohol, which was often referred to as, quote, the third partner in their marriage. Taylor's struggle with addiction continued during her marriage to John Warner. Feeling bored and lonely while residing in Washington, she turned to drinking and gained weight. Her own alcohol issues were overshadowed by Burton's more severe problems during their marriage. By 1981, Taylor was divorced and back in Los Angeles, where her dependence on pain medication escalated. Concerned friends and family organized an intervention, leading her to check into the Betty Ford Center for a 7-week rehab stay in 1983. Although she stopped drinking, she continued to take prescribed pills, justifying their use as legitimate. Her daughter, Liza Todd, once called to speak with Taylor in the evening but was informed that she was unavailable after 9 p.m. Not due to sleep, but because she was under the influence. In 1988, Taylor's friend George Hamilton organized another intervention, resulting in her return to rehab. However, she refused to engage in the necessary work and was asked to leave. Nevertheless, during her time in rehab, she married construction worker Larry Fortensky, who was 20 years her junior, in an extravagant ceremony in 1991. Their relationship eventually soured after 5 years when Fortensky resumed drinking. Taylor spent the remainder of her life battling her addictions until her passing in 2011 at the age of 79. These women, celebrated for their talent and beauty, faced personal demons that led them down a treacherous path. Their stories serve as a reminder that fame and fortune don't always shield us from the depths of addiction. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.